Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Friday, January 6, 2023, and giving you our 3 best bets for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Our first pick, we have Indiana Pacers versus Portland Trail Blazers. The Portland Trail Blazers, 22-15 against the spread, will travel to the Midwest to take on the Indiana Pacers, 24-15 against the spread. Portland just fell to the Timberwolves, where the Blazers were hurt by poor three-point shooting. Portland won the rebound battle 39-33 and had 18 turnovers on the night. Damian Lillard led Portland in scoring with 27. Indiana just lost a tight one in overtime to the 76ers. Indiana lost a rebound battle 45-46 and had 32 fast break points. Buddy Hield led the Pacers in scoring with 24 points. On the season, Portland is scoring 112.8 points per game and shooting 47.8% from the floor. The three-point shooting for the Blazers has been white hot this season, as they are taking 33.4 attempts per game and knocking down 38.2% of those tries. As was the case against Minnesota, when shots are not falling from beyond the arc for the Blazers, they can struggle finding ways to consistently put the ball in the hoop. On the defensive side of things, the Blazers are allowing 112 points per game and opponents are shooting 47.2% from the floor. The Blazers defend the perimeter well, as opponents are taking just over 32 attempts from deep per game and are knocking down 36% of those tries. The Pacers are no stranger to the three ball, as they often take over 40 attempts per game. Indiana will need to make them put the ball on the floor. On the seasons, the Pacers are scoring 115.8 points per game and are shooting 46.4% from the floor. Indiana likes to put up shots from distance, and they are top 5 in both three-pointers made and attempted per ball game. Indiana takes right around 39 threes per game on average, and they have been knocking those shots down at a 37.2% clip. On the defensive side of things, the Pacers are allowing 116.1 points per game and opponents are shooting 46.8% from the floor. From distance, opponents are taking 34 attempts per game and knocking down 36.7% of those shots. The Blazers have been a hot shooting team from deep all season. The Pacers are bottom 5 in opponent three-point shooting. The Portland Trail Blazers have been rough to say the least these last couple of weeks, and they're not great on the road, where they struggle defensively and lose by an average of 2.9 points. Indiana has been very good at home this season, and as a team have been playing with much confidence lately. The offense is dynamic with the three-point barrage and the off-ball movement. Portland is a good three-point shooting team, but Indiana does have the guards to keep the ball pressure on. Portland G. Gary Payton, 2, ankle, did not play in Wednesday's loss and is listed as questionable for this game. Indiana has been good against the spread at home and have covered 8 of their last 10 games overall. Indiana is trending in a much better direction than it was when these teams met early in December, as it has covered the spread in 5 straight games and won 4 of those contests outright. Portland has only covered twice in its last 7 games, and one of its top players is dealing with an injury coming into this matchup. There is plenty to like about Indiana when it is playing with momentum, especially Hield's outside shooting. He has been the top three-point shooter in the NBA this season and is on fire coming into this game. Portland has failed to cover the spread in 5 straight road games, so it is tough to see the Trail Blazers covering against a strong home team that is playing its best basketball of the season. Our first best bet is Indiana -1 point. On our second pick, we have Philadelphia 76ers versus Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls and Philadelphia 76ers meet Friday in NBA action at the Wells Fargo Center. The Chicago Bulls have won 6 of their last 9 games. The Philadelphia 76ers have won 7 of their last 9 games. Chicago snapped a 2-game slide and shrugged off an overtime loss to Cleveland by stopping Brooklyn's 12-game win streak Wednesday night. The Bulls entered Thursday 17-21 and in 4th place in the Central Division, 8 games behind Milwaukee. For the year, Chicago stands 14th in the league in scoring offense, with an average of 114.5 points per contest. The Bulls are 23rd in rebounding as they collect an average of 42.2 boards a night, while they are 18th in assists by handing out an average of 24.3 dimes per contest. Chicago is 18th in scoring defense as they allow an average of 115.5 points per game this season. Zach LaVine is second on the team with 22.4 points per contest on the year. Demer DeRozan contributes 26.6 points, 5.2 rebounds plus 4.9 assists a night, while Nikola Vucevic, 16.8 points, 10.5 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and Ayo Dosunmu, 9.9 points, each are valuable options. Alex Caruso, Kobe White, Javon Green, Derrick Jones Jr., Tony Bradley, Andre Drummond and Goran Dragic are looked at to provide valuable minutes as well. As a team, Chicago is 5th in the league in field goal percentage as they knock down 48.7% of their shots on the year. The Bulls are 28th in the league by knocking down 10.5 three-pointers per contest, while they stand 10th by hitting 36.8% of their attempts from beyond the arc on the year. Philadelphia won their 3rd straight and their 11th in the last 13 games as they outlasted the Pacers in overtime at home. The 76ers entered Thursday 23-14 and stood 3rd in the Atlantic Division, 2.5 games behind Boston for the top spot. They were 5th in the Eastern Conference playoff picture, 2.5 games behind Boston for the top spot and 3 games clear of Indiana to hold a guaranteed playoff spot. On the year, the 76ers are 18th in the league in scoring offense with 112.6 points per game. The 76ers are 28th in rebounding as they collect 40.5 rebounds per contest, while they are 16th in assists by dishing out an average of 24.5 dimes a night. Philadelphia is 2nd in the league in scoring defense as they allow an average of 108.7 points a contest. Joel Embiid leads the 76ers as he puts up 33.5 points, 9.8 rebounds and 4.6 assists per contest this season. James Harden contributes 22.3 points, 6 rebounds plus 10.8 assists a night. Tobias Harris chips in 16.5 points, plus 6.3 rebounds per game, while Therese Maxey adds 21.2 points, plus 4.2 assists per contest. Georges Niang, 9.5 points, DeAnthony Melton, 12.2 points, PJ Tucker, Montrezl Harrell, Daniel House Jr., Shake Milton, 10.6 points, Furkan Korkmaz, Matisse Thybulle and Paul Reed are key pieces of the rotation for coach Doc Rivers. Philadelphia is 12th in the league in field goal percentage as they shoot 47.8% from the floor as a team this season. The 76ers are 11th in threes per game as they drain 12.7 triples a contest, while they are 5th in three-point shooting by connecting on 38.1% of their attempts from beyond the arc. The Chicago Bulls may be in a letdown spot after their win over the Nets, and despite their recent wins, they still struggle defensively. The Philadelphia 76ers are at their best at home, where they win by an average of 6.7 points and are 15-6 against the spread. Philly has won 8 in a row against the spread in this series, and 9 of the last 10. They have simply dominated the Bulls of late, in fact winning the last 10 straight up. In their prior meeting this season, back on October 29, the Sixers were minus 2.5 favorites on the road and won by 6. They are now at home with a spread less than their winning margin last time, a solid sign. They have won their last 3 games by an average of 10.3 points per, and they are 15-6 against the spread at home this season. The Bulls have definitely shown some solid fight of late against some strong teams, but the Sixers' defensive scoring is second only to Cleveland, who just took Chicago down for 2. While Chicago rolls in off a win over Brooklyn that snapped the Nets' 12-game win streak, that game was at the United Center. The Bulls now have to travel to Philadelphia to take on a 76ers team that has been rolling of late with 11 wins in their last 13 games. Chicago has sputtered on the road this season, posting a 7-12 mark, while Philadelphia has put together a solid 16-5 home mark to this point of the year. The 76ers have a variety of weapons to do damage on the offensive end of the floor, and if Embiid returns to play in this game, that merely makes them that much more dangerous. Philadelphia is the better team here and they earned the home victory over a game Bulls squad. Our second best bet for today is Philadelphia 76ers minus 4.5 points. On our third best bet we have Milwaukee Bucks vs Charlotte Hornets. In Friday night NBA action, the Charlotte Hornets will travel to Fiserv Forum to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Hornets, 10-29, have been decimated by injuries this season and own the worst overall record in the Eastern Conference. On Tuesday, Charlotte trailed by 14 points after one quarter and could never recover during a 131-107 home loss versus Memphis. Charlotte was thoroughly dismantled from start to finish in a 131-107 home drubbing at the hands of the Memphis Grizzlies Thursday. LaMelo Ball had 23 points and 12 assists, and Terry Rozier added 21 points for the Hornets, who have lost 14 of 17 games. It was a blowout from the beginning, and the short-handed Hornets looked dead in the water. The Grizzlies jumped out to a 40-26 lead in the first quarter, behind their all-star point guard Ja Morant, who set the tone with 12 points and 4 assists. The Grizzlies dominated the Hornets on the glass 59-44 and outscored them 64-52 in the paint. The Milwaukee Bucks blew an inexplicable lead late in the game, but managed to outlast the Toronto Raptors 104-101 in overtime. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 30 points, 10 assists, and a season-high 21 rebounds for his second triple-double of the season, and Grayson Allen hit a tie-breaking three-pointer with 11.6 seconds to go in overtime. The Bucks led 90-69 with 3:50 left in the fourth quarter, but Toronto cut it to 97-94 with 25 seconds to go before Milwaukee's 26th turnover gave the Raptors the ball back, allowing Gary Trent Jr. to hit a tying three with 0.8 seconds left. Charlotte LaMelo Ball matched a game high with 23 points on 7-for-23 shooting and dished out 12 assists. Terry Rozier added 21 points and 4 assists in a losing effort for the Hornets, who were out-rebounded by a 59-44 margin. The Milwaukee Bucks have won 16 of their first 20 home games and trail Boston by one full game for the best record in the Eastern Conference. On Wednesday, Milwaukee overcame a sluggish first quarter, 13 points, to escape with a 104-101 overtime victory at Toronto. The Bucks led 90-72 with 3 minutes remaining and committed 28 turnovers. The Charlotte Hornets are averaging 111.4 points on 44.5% shooting and allowing 118.1 points on 48.1% shooting. LaMelo Ball is averaging 23.7 points and 6 rebounds, while Terry Rozier is averaging 20 points and 4.3 rebounds. PJ Washington is the third double-digit scorer, and Gordon Hayward is grabbing 4.7 rebounds. The Charlotte Hornets are shooting 32.2% from beyond the arc and 74.5% from the free throw line. The Charlotte Hornets are allowing 35.8% shooting from deep and are grabbing 45.8 rebounds per game. The Milwaukee Bucks are averaging 112.4 points on 45.6% shooting and allowing 110.7 points on 45.6% shooting. Giannis Antetokounmpo is averaging 32.1 points and 11.8 rebounds, while Jrue Holiday is averaging 18.9 points and 5.3 rebounds. Brook Lopez is the third double-digit scorer, and Bobby Portis is grabbing 10.1 rebounds. The Milwaukee Bucks are shooting 34.2% from beyond the arc and 74.1% from the free throw line. The Milwaukee Bucks are allowing 35.1% shooting from deep and are grabbing 48.8 rebounds per game. The Milwaukee Bucks blew an inexplicable lead late in the game but managed to outlast the Toronto Raptors 104-101 in overtime. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 30 points, 10 assists, and a season-high 21 rebounds for his second triple-double of the season, but the Bucks gave up a 21-point lead with under 4 minutes remaining as the Raptors forced overtime. They did not have Jrue Holiday or Joe Ingles available, but they will be back for this game against one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. Charlotte has lost 14 of their last 17 games and is dealing with a slew of injuries, one of them being Kelly Oubre Jr., who is out indefinitely. Massive number, but the Charlotte Hornets have been a mess all year, and that includes losing by an average of 8.8 points in the underdog role. The Milwaukee Bucks have covered 14 of their 20 home games, where they win by an average of 8.3 points. This has the potential to get ugly. Our third best bet for today is Milwaukee Bucks minus 11 points.